The local pool is the center of life in summer, and right now, it's closed. So, in my sadness, I thought I would talk about some pool stories. I used to go to this pool in my neighborhood, but my neighborhood friends weren't big swimmers, so we started going to a pool in the neighborhood of my elementary school. This is the pool that I'm going to be talking about in this video. I love swimming. Swimming is probably my favorite sport, and the main place where I swim in the summer is the pool. There is a swim team, but the pool is mostly recreational, and I'm thinking of talking about the swim team in another video. Pool games are the best. You're always bound to have a fun time, whether it's splash, categories, or Ketchup. No, actually, Ketchup is trash. Never play Ketchup, it's the worst game. If you don't know what Ketchup is, it's this game where you have players in a line for the diving board. And the game is pretty much one person jumps off the diving board to the ladder as fast as they can, and the moment one person jumps off, the next person jumps. If the person touches the pool deck with their foot before the person behind them can touch them, they're safe. They can then walk back to the line behind the diving board. However, it's basic diving board rules that you can't dive until the person in front of you touches the ladder. So then the game is always so unpredictable, and you never know what the rules are, and you don't want to get yelled at by the 17-year-old lifeguard and ugh. Another diving board game that's actually good is categories. For those who don't know, one person gets ready to jump off and the other person thinks of a category. Right before the person jumps off, they name a category. The person who is jumping has to name something in that category before they hit the water. For example, if someone says sports, you can say football. If someone says books, you can say Harry Potter. Everyone knows Marco Polo. It's the classic pool game. I suck at it. I always try and dive at people, but it never works. And they're always so taunting. They say polo in these weird voices, and I'm like, you're not quirky. Stop. No one's laughing at you. You're not funny. I do admit, though, sometimes when I'm being chased, I will do the occasional polo, polo, polo. Another classic is sharks and minnows. I don't know. I think it's alright, but being the shark is far superior to being a minnow. However, it is awesome when you barely outswim a shark when you're a minnow. I've participated in many chicken fights, me being pretty short and light, so it's easy for people to carry me on their shoulders. In chicken fights, one person carries another person on their shoulders and tries to topple the other people. Whoever can topple each other first wins. Chicken fights are a good pool game. One of my personal favorite games are Splash. There is one person on the deck and the rest are on the pool wall. The goal of the game is to swim to the other side of the pool without being tagged. Once the person turns around, away from the pool, the people in the water can make splashing noises. If the person turns around and no one has gone, they have to take a step back. If the people have gone, the person can dive after them. So, what you have to do is be stealthy or do some fake splashes. That's how it got its name. It's so annoying when people go right away, 'cause we want to trick the person on the pool deck, and you always feel so cool when you can swim underwater the whole way to the other side of the pool and not make a single sound. Another pool game is colors. Pretty much, you hold someone like a baby above the water and you think of a color. The person guesses colors. If they don't guess the one that you're thinking of, you dunk them. If they do, you flip them. It's not bad. My sister and I play this game called Roller Coaster, where she holds me like this and then, does this. It's fun, but now I'm too heavy, I think. I used to have these really cool torpedoes, and you would throw them in the water, and we would always go searching for it. One time, a little kid took them by accident, and we had to awkwardly ask for them back. No. Here's how it goes with torpedoes. You do it in the 3 feet shallow end, it's all cool, but when you go to the deep end, bro, you're taking it to a whole nother level. My all-time least favorite pool game is called Beaver. Basically, you have to make it to the other side of the pool without someone pulling you underwater. Except what usually happens is some older kids play, and they literally drown you. Oh my gosh, I remember this one time I was in 2nd grade and I was playing with 8th graders and they just massacred me, straight up massacre. I was gasping for air and struggling to breathe. I couldn't feel the air entering my lungs. The water was the wall in between my salvation and death. I got out of the pool and took a pretty long break. Some volleyball court games that we play a lot are Jailbreak, Nukem, Scatterball, and, well, volleyball. Jailbreak is the best by far. How the game works is people throw a ball to the other team and say someone's name, and if no one catches it, the person is out. You can say Jailbreak, and if no one catches it, everyone that is out on your team is back in. However, if it is caught, nothing happens. People take turns throwing it, and whichever team gets completely out or in jail loses. I remember this one time where this first grader wanted to play with us sixth graders, and since we can't exclude him, we let him play with us. We weren't mean, we just knew what would happen. We would ask him what his name was, and he'd say, Bob, and then we'd say, no really, kid, seriously. And then he'd giggle and say, Bob, no really. And then we'd say, all right. And then he'd snicker thinking he fooled us. We'd throw it, call his name, and no one would catch it. He'd say, I'm not out, my name's not Bob. Hey kid, what's your name? Bob. No really, kid, seriously. Bob, no really. All right. I'm not out, my name's not Bob. The last game I'll be mentioning is Scatterball. It's kind of like dodgeball, but there are no sides, there's one ball, and you have a limited amount of steps. As more people are hit with the ball and more people get out, you can take more steps. I think at the beginning it's 5, and then the final 2 is 11 steps. The last person standing wins. I don't know, I think it's alright. I'd play it, but I'd much rather play Jailbreak or another game. Except Ketchup. Ketchup is the worst game in the world. It can go